Today we're going to be looking at the independent practice for Module 7.2. I know that we talked about a little bit about it on Friday. We had some confusion, and understandable why. I'm going to give you an opportunity to work on all these problems independently and then check back with the video to make sure that you understand what you were doing. Only watch the videos after you've tried them on your own, and then you can see what support you need. That way you're not just using my thinking and then saying, oh, I get it, and not really having it, okay? So the first thing, we talked about this problem on Friday, but I think it's worth bringing up again. It says, 3 friends earned more than $200 washing cars. They paid their parents $28 for supplies and divided the rest of the money equally. Write an inequality to find the possible amounts each friend earned. Identify what your variable represents. Go ahead and read that again on your own and try to tackle it. And then pause the video, and when you're ready, I'll explain it. The first thing I want you to notice is, or to keep in consideration, is that we're going to tackle these problems one line at a time, or one sentence at a time. It says 3 friends earn more than $200 washing cars. So if I just seek to understand it, they earned $201, $202, $203, $250, whatever it is, they earned more than $200. So I just want to write that down for a second to understand it, okay? And so I'm going to say they earned $200, but they earn more than it. So anything that's on the other side of the equation has to be greater than 200 because this was the least amount that they earned, right? They didn't even earn 200. They had to earn more than 200. We don't even have an equal sign here. It's not a greater or a less than or equal to sign. It's just the less than sign, because it has to be 201. It can't be 200, okay? So we got that part just from reading the first sentence. Let's read the next sentence now. They paid their parents $28 for supplies, and then they divided the rest of the money equally. All right, so they're dividing it equally, but they have 3 friends. So we have 3 friends who are getting some amount of money. We don't know the amount of money that each friend is getting, right? And so write an inequality to find the possible amount each friend earned. Identify what your variable represents. All right, so we kind of did that already. Our variable is going to be what we don't know, okay? What we need to find. And in this case, we need to find the A is the amount each friend earned. You need to be that specific. I'm going to say even more, amount of money each friend earned. That way, it's now a unit. Does that make sense? Okay. So your variable is just going to be the unknown amount. And so that is given to you kind of in the question, the amount that each friend earned. They want you to find that out by the end of it. Okay. So looking at this, I know that 200 is going to be less than these things together. The $28 that they gave their family plus the I'm going to change colors just so it doesn't go into what else I wrote. Plus whatever we gave to each friend. I know it's not written as a division problem right now where you say the divided here and that the pay should be like a subtraction. I know it's not written that way right now, and so that could be a little bit confusing. But if you think about it, we will eventually divide that up when we undo it, and we will eventually subtract the $28, but we're thinking about that all together before it happened. If we think about it, like if we take the amount that each of the 3 of them earned and the $28, that amount together is going to be greater than the $200 that they made. I hope that makes sense to you. Sometimes you just got to seek to understand the question and break it apart like that, and then it'll all make sense. So let's double check that we answered the question. The question was write an inequality to find the possible amount each friend earned. Here's our inequality. All of that together is the inequality. And it says identify what your variable represents. And we did that right here, where A equals the amount of money each friend earned. Okay? For number 8, go ahead and read it a couple of times. Try to solve it on your own. Pause the video and then come back to me when you think you're ready to have an explanation. All right, Nick has $7. Bagels cost 75 cents each, and a small container of cream cheese costs $1.29. Write an inequality to find the number of bagels Nick can buy. Identify what your variable represents. Okay, I'm going to take this line by line again, but I want to kind of, Nick has Leah, let's go here. Nick has $7. Okay, so I know he has $7, no more, no less. Bagels cost 75 cents each, and a small container of cream cheese costs $1.29. So 75 cents for bagels and $1.29 for cream cheese. Write an inequality to find the number of bagels Nick can buy. Oh, what we don't know is how many bagels he can buy. And so I can now come up with a variable that says N is the number of bagels Nick can buy. Make sense? It's our unknown. Okay? So I'm going to reread it again, now that I know that I'm going to have a variable of N. Okay? Nick has $7. Can he get any more money than $7? No, that's our limit. That's the most amount of money he has. He cannot spend $7.01, $7.02, $7.50. That's the maximum amount of money that he has. So when we write this equation and we think about it, $7 is the most that he can go with, and so we have it as $7 is greater than or equal to, because he can spend, that's exactly $7, is greater than or equal to, let's do 75 cents for each bagel, right? Each bagel, we're going to multiply them because that's how many bagels he can buy, 75 cents each. If he buys 2, it's $1.50, right? And then plus the $1.29 for the cream cheese. Okay? So let's do this. You can actually drop all of your dollar signs for this one. So the final equation, you could write it the other way around if you want to. Just know that this this greater than sign has to be facing, the open end of the sign has to be facing the $7. Okay, so let me flip it around because this is how you're usually going to see it. So 75 and 0.75 n for 75 cents. Make sure that decimal is in there. Plus 1.29 is less than or equal to 7. And then you can go from there. Let's check our entire problem. Did we identify the variable? Yes, the N is the number of bagels Nick can buy. And then we have our equation right here. Or we have the equation right here. It can be in either direction. They both mean the same thing, whatever one you're comfortable with. All right, here's problem number 9, which can be a little bit confusing. Make sure you try it on your own. This one involves a little bit of logic with it. So try it on your own and then come back to the video to double check yourself, okay? Pause the video for a second. It says Chet needs to buy 4 work shirts, all costing the same amount. He uses a $25 gift certificate. After he uses a $25 gift certificate, he can spend no more than $75. Write an inequality to find the possible cost for a shirt and identify what your variable represents. What don't we know in this problem? Yeah, we don't know the amount. So A could mean the amount of money each shirt costs. Does that make sense? You could use a different variable, but make sure you define it. It should be defined as the amount of money each shirt costs, okay? That's what we don't know, and that's what we're seeking to find. And so let's read it one more time. Chet needs to buy 4 work shirts, all costing the same amount. So if I want to find out how much Chet spends, I have to do 4A. Do you agree? And then after he uses a $25 gift certificate, he can spend no more than $75. All right, I'm going to skip this gift card amount for a second, and I'm going to go to the spending no more than $75, okay? So looking at that, he has $75. He cannot spend 76, cannot spend 77. So I know that this is the greatest amount that he can spend, so my open end of my greater than less than sign, in this case it's a less than sign because it's facing that direction, has to be, the open end has to be facing the 75 because it's bigger than everything else. And he can spend $75, so I can include that equal sign in there as well. So the 4 shirts, at whatever amount it is, with this gift card or whatever he uses with its gift certificate, he can spend no more than $75. I'm a little stumped on this one. I'm wondering if we add the $25 up here or if we subtract the $25 up here. I know it has to be one of the two. And when I'm reading it, I'm a little bit stumped about it. So think about it yourself. Which answer would you come up with? And here it is. It is a subtract 25 in here. And the best way that I can think to explain it is to say that this happens after he uses a $25 gift certificate. He can spend no more than 75. So before the gift certificate, he could spend 100. Don't you agree? He could spend 100 over here, like with the gift certificate. And in order to undo that, don't you have to add 25 to both sides? That's how my brain works. You probably have another way to think about that, but I was thinking, okay, I had to do some logic in my head at first. I had to say, well, with the gift certificate, he could spend 100, and so that must mean that the negative 25 is over here, because when I'm doing when I'm undoing the problem, first I would have to add the 25 to both sides, and then I'd be left with 4a is less than or equal to 100, and then I would divide by 4 on both sides, and then I would know that a is less than or equal to 25. And so I had to use some logic with it, rather than and come back at it backwards. If you have a better way to explain it, share it with our class. But in this way, I solved it first and then went backwards to see what is my equation for here. So let's go back and see. Did I write an inequality? Yes. Did I identify the variable? Yes. So I'm good and I'm finished. Again, go ahead and read the problem first, try and solve it on your own, and then replay the video when you're ready to check your work. It says, due to fire laws, no more than 720 people may attend a performance at Metro Auditorium. The balcony holds 120 people. There are 32 rows on the ground floor, each with the same number of seats. Write an inequality to find out the number of people that can sit in a ground floor row if the balcony is full. Identify what your variable represents. Okay. Taking it one step at a time and reading everything. This time, I feel like I'm just throwing numbers in there because that's what we've been doing all along and everything. But this time I just want to picture it for a second. So I know that we're in an auditorium, and let's pretend that the balcony section is up at the top, and I know that this holds 120 people. And then there's these seats on the ground floor, and I know that there are 32 rows, but I'm not sure how many seats are in each row. And so I can reread this problem, and I know that I'm looking for the number of seats in one row, right? Or number of seats in each row. So I'm going to put my variable as S equals seats in each row. It's really important that you do not get caught up by just throwing numbers in something. Sometimes you do need to take a moment to draw a quick picture, and that way you're actually applying what you're learning and understanding it, rather than just throwing in numbers and putting signs here or there, okay? It says, due to fire laws, no more than 720 people may attend a performance at the auditorium. So I know that 720 is my maximum amount. Can 720 be a part of it? Yes. And so this is the greatest amount that could be there. And so it's a greater than or equal to sign, that since my 720 is over here, okay? I know that the balcony holds 120 people and that there's 32 rows on the ground floor with the same number of seats. And then it says how many people can sit on a ground floor row if the balcony is full. Gotcha. So they had to say that the balcony was full so that we knew to use 120, because if it wasn't full, then the problem couldn't be written. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have enough information. And so I have to do the 120 people plus those 32 rows times S. Does that make sense to you? So in this case, 720 was my maximum. And then these two represent the people in the balcony and the 32 rows, and the S represents the seats in each row. And if I undo all of this by getting rid of the 120 first, by subtracting 120, and then dividing both sides by 32, then I can find out how many people can be in each seat. But all they're looking for right now is to write an inequality, not to solve it, just to write it. That's an important thing for you to differentiate. Here's my inequality. You can also write it as 32s plus 120 is less than or equal to 720. You can also write it that way. Okay, and we showed what our variable represents, so we're good. I really like this problem because it adds a couple of things that we've been learning throughout our other units. Go ahead and try it on your own, and then watch the video. It says, Liz earns a salary of $2,100 per month plus a commission of 5% of her sales. She wants to earn at least $2,400 this month. Write an inequality to find the amount of sales that will meet her goal. Identify what your variable represents. I will take it line by line, but the thing that I don't know comes up here. Find the amount of sales that will help her meet her goal. We don't know the sales that she needs, and so whenever you're being told to find something, well, that's going to be what your variable represents, most likely, because it's the thing that you don't know in the problem. So S is going to be the sales that she needs, that Liz needs to meet her goal. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at this really carefully. Liz earns a salary of $2,100 per month plus a commission of 5% of her sales. How can I write this 5% times her sales? How can I rewrite this? We never deal with percents, right? We don't multiply by percents. Yeah, we have to change that into a decimal. So let's rewrite this. 2,100 plus 0.05 sales, because we take this percent and we change it into a decimal by moving over the decimal point twice. Remember that? And though, let's see what way we want our inequality to face. We know that she wants to earn at least $2,400. And so, can she earn $2,400? Is she okay with that? Yes. So we have an equal sign here. That's part of the equal sign, okay? Does she want to earn $2,300? No. She wants to earn $2,400, $2,500, $2,600. And so, which side do we want to be greater? This side or this side? Yeah, we want this side to be greater. We want when we solve this side, we want it to be greater than the $2,400 or equal to the $2,400. Those are the things that you can ask yourself to determine which way your inequality should be facing. So, find out what your variable represents. Yes, you can. Your hint is to look at what the question is asking, where it says find. That will help you to know what that should represent. And down here, you want to ask yourself, which side do you want to be bigger in the end? The amount that she earns or her goal? Okay? Go ahead, take a look at this problem, solve it, and then come watch the video. Lincoln Middle School plans to collect more than 2,000 cans of food in a food drive. So far, 668 cans have been collected. Write an inequality to find the numbers of cans the school can collect in each of the final 7 days of the drive to complete this goal. All right, so we need to find the number of cans, that they need to reach their goal, okay? All right, so let's read it one more time. Lincoln Middle School plans to collect more than 2,000 cans. 2,000 cans. Now, do they want to, this is going to be our work on the other side. Which side do we want to be greater? The 2,000 or the other stuff, the number of cans? Yeah, we want the number of cans to be greater. Can they have 2,000? No, they don't want 2,000. They want more than 2,000. So it is just a less than sign in this situation, or the arrow is pointing to the 2,000. You could flip it, the equations, the inequality the other way, but it has to be pointing towards the 2,000. We want the other side to be greater, okay? So far, they have 668 cans that have been collected, and they're going to add to it 7 days times some number of cans. That is our whole inequality right there. We want the number of cans that they collect over here, the 668, and the final 7 days of earning cans to be greater than 2,000. You can rewrite it this way. It could be 668 plus 7n. You can also change those based on the commutative property is greater than 2,000. Each of these are correct. Read it, solve it, and then watch the video. Joanna joins a CD club. I don't think that's around anymore. Just think of Blu-rays or something like that. Anyway, Joanna joins a CD club. She pays $7 per month plus $10 for each CD. So $7 per month and $10 for each CD. Okay? That she orders. Write an inequality to find out how many CDs she can purchase in a month, 1 month. So we're talking the $7. You don't have to multiply it by anything. How many CDs she can purchase in a month if she spends no more than $100. So $100 max. I'm going to start the inequality on this side right now. Can she spend $100? Yes, so we have that equal sign there. And which side do we want to be smaller? The number of CDs over here or the $100? Yeah, we want the number of CDs to be smaller, so all of this side has to be smaller than the $100 that she has because she wants no more than $100, okay? So she pays $7 per month. Remember, we're only talking 1 month, so we don't need to multiply that by anything, plus $10 for each CD. Oh, well, look, we saw the problem already, okay? Or the inequality. What does the C represent? The number of CDs she can purchase. Okay? They should be pretty cheap because nobody uses CDs anymore, right? Tell her to get some iPod or something like that. Get some iTunes, right? All right, my friends, that is our inequality right here. End of problem. You should be good on your own for this one for sure, but be sure to check in to check your work step by step if you need to. It says Lionel wants to buy a belt that costs $22. He also wants to buy some shirts that are on sale for $17 each. He has $80. What inequality can you write to find the number of shirts he can buy? So we know that they're $17 each, but we can represent the number of shirts he can buy with S equals the number of shirts he can buy, right? Lionel, you'd put Lionel can buy You be specific with these. That's really important. Okay, so Lionel wants to buy a belt. That costs $22. And he's going to add some shirts into there, $17 each. We don't know how many he can buy, so we're going to write that S in there to figure it out. He's going to have to multiply those two because they're $17 each. He has $80. Can he spend $80? Yes. What needs to be the least amount? The this work over here, then the total for all the shirts he can buy, or the $80? Which one has to be smaller? Yes. The $80 is the maximum amount. This amount has to be smaller, like how much he spends on all the shirts and the belt and everything like that, and then you're good to go. That is your inequality. Go ahead and try the rest of the problems on the next page, starting with number 15 all the way through 25. And we will come together as a class to work on lesson 7.3 when I get back. Okay?